Good morning, children. And once again, I welcome you in history class. And today we are going to start next chapter, Cold War. And this chapter is very important in the history of the Europe. And in this, we have to study that which countries started having Cold War and when, and what were the reasons between the European countries of having Cold War. But before we study about Cold War, let me explain you the meaning of Cold War. So, Cold War means a kind of a difference of opinion between two countries or many countries, and it is a condition, we can say, where the propaganda of ideas are there, criticism is there, no doubt political relations they maintain just for the sake of maintaining peace. So we can say this was neither the situation of peace nor war, but it was a kind of a conflict or the war of ideas. So when the countries, they were not having they were not agree with each other, they had difference of opinion, they did not like each other, they look each other with doubt and suspicious. That condition or that state is called a Cold War. So here we are talking about that between which countries that Cold War has been taken place. So if we start from the beginning, during the war, uh, after First World War, obviously there were allied countries and Axis power. But after the First World War, when Germany was declared guilty, so kind of an terms and conditions were decided in the form of a treaty between the Germany and the allied countries. So first of all, Yalta Conference was held, and in Yalta Conference it was decided that Germany would be divided into four zones under the allied countries, and all these four zones will be under America, UK, France, and USSR. So it was decided in the Yalta Conference. Moreover, the democracy would be there, elections would be conducted there, and it was also decided that proper war compensation should be paid by USSR, Germany to France and the other countries. So in this way, a kind of a check was imposed on Germany because Germany was declared guilty, right? So after that, after Yalta Conference, what had happened? The Second World War broke out. And when Second World War broke out, till then USA and USSR, they both were fighting together on behalf of allied countries. But what had happened when America dropped atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, on the two famous cities of Japan? So Russia had doubt because Russia uh, kind of a doubt, was having doubt in his mind that America did not disclose that America is going to drop a bomb, and even America has not discussed the even the technique how to make this kind of atomic bomb, because everybody knows, history says that these two atomic bombs were very dangerous, and it left a totally the to both the cities they completely destroyed, and it's the radiations even of those bombs are still affected to the generations of Japan. So in this way, the doubt was started from where? From the beginning when America dropped the two atomic bombs. Then later, if we come to the topic of Poland, because when Danzig seaport was captured from Germany, this we have already done. So it was given under the charge of Poland. So what had happened that Poland was later taken up by whom? By USSR. So one or the other problems were started by USSR. They too, after though they were, we should say they were fighting together. They had too much closeness, but USSR somewhere realized that America is having a very strong navy, very strong air force, and taken up position on all the very strategic points. And moreover, America is no doubt financially also fully developed and fully developed country. And in this way, Russia was having some kind of bitterness. So distrust or doubt started after the Second World War between USA and USSR. So if we say that between which countries the Cold War had taken place, so we will say between the USA and USSR. So let's start our topic of today. This was the background I told you. So here we have to see that Potsdam Conference was held in 1945. So this Potsdam Conference, when it was held, there Potsdam is a place in Germany, and in this conference, three countries had mainly taken up the part: Stalin, then Truman and Churchill. So UK, America and uh, USSR. So Churchill was later on joined by the Clement Attlee. So these three main countries in this conference had decided that what steps should be taken, and already there was heavy loss to Russia. By whom? By Germany, right? Because Russia was badly affected and its soldiers were also died when Germany entered into the internal parts of Russia, and how the army was badly killed. So when loss was given to Russia by Germany, because Germany made so much aggression on whom? On Russia here, right? And meanwhile, Poland has also been occupied by Russia. So the problem started between Russia and Germany regarding the place Poland. Poland wanted to be captured by Germany, but it has been occupied by Russia, right? So here it said that Russia, when it had started having Cold War, when it started looking America with doubt and suspicious, so he started thinking about the reunification of Germany. What do you mean by reunification? Means all those four zones which were under the America, England, France and USSR should be reunited. That Germany should be reunited again. Why? Because indirectly Russia wanted to spread communism. It was under the influence of Communist Party, because Russia believed in the ideas of Karl Marx, and he wanted to make more and more countries communist countries. So when Russia started thinking about the reunification of Germany, it was not liked by whom? By Truman and Churchill, by UK and US, right? Because they also started having some kind of distrust that why Russia is after the reunification of Germany. So when Truman and Churchill was objected with the act of on the act of Russia, then what had happened that clearly the Cold War being started between whom? Between USA and U, USA and USSR. So here we had seen that side by side after the Second World War already there was a big defeat of Axis powers, and Russia was having communism in its mind. So this the fall of Axis power gave opportunity to Russia to capture more and more country under the influence of communism. So Romania, Czechoslovakia and Hungary and many more places came directly under the influence of whom? Communism. That means Russia started dominating for communism. But Greece and Finland, these two countries were saved from communism because of the financial help of America. Because America had taken a place, this kind of uh, pledge that America is going to protect more and more countries from communism, and it will set up the democracy there. Because if we see what were the main causes of the Cold War, so the first cause comes in our mind that because of the difference of opinion regarding the communism and democracy, the America wanted to set up more and more independence. It wanted to provide liberty or democracy to the people so the country can be independent and nobody can take away their independence. Whereas if we see about Russia, Russia wanted to spread more and more communism, and that's why it had set up in Eastern Europe a Warsaw Pact, in that it added more and more country, and a kind of a joint army was set up by USSR, which was named Warsaw Pact. We will study later. So here it says the problem started between both the superpowers, USSR and USA, because they in the beginning they both were together, they both were fighting together against Nazism and fascism. But somehow after the Second World War the problem started between both the countries. One thing, when the technology of atomic bomb was not disclosed by America to USSR. Secondly, America wanted to make the country democratic country. It wanted to set up a democracy, whereas USSR wanted to make more and more country the communist country. As a result, that President of America Truman, it's set up the Truman Doctrine and the Marshall Plan. These two were, the Truman Doctrine and the Marshall Plan was a kind of a monetary help, or we can say the financial aid to which country? To those country who recently got independence from the whites or from the Britishers, and they wanted to be free from the clutches of the Germany, Japan, who were keep on attacking on them, and the allied countries protected them, right? And that's why not only America wanted to help them economically but socially also, that the people should be given liberty, they should be independent, and financial help will be given by America in the form of Marshall Plan and Truman Doctrine. So this was the chapter we had seen, that how the America and USSR were together till the Second World War, but as soon as the World War was ended up, the problem started between both of them. Why? Because the main reason was communism and democracy. This I have written here. In Eastern Europe, that Russia wanted to make more and more countries communist country, whereas USA wanted to make the countries democratic and wanted to set up a democracy there, wanted to give liberty to the people. So that was the topic. In my next chapter, I will tell you about the Marshall Plan, the Truman Doctrine, and what were the other steps were taken by the Allied countries to control the communism in the Eastern European countries. That's all for today.